Hey guys, what's going on? Vincent with Fit to Succeed. If you haven't already, push some fancy subscribe. Who knows what's gonna happen? Maybe I'll get YouTube famous. But as you can tell, very exhausted. Got the bags going. It's a little dark under there. Haven't had a good night's sleep. You might hear noises in the background. I got the kid watching TV playing, so he's gonna be a little loud. Just get over it, right? I wanted to share with you my thought process during my PRs. So I'm gonna be doing a voiceover while you see me warm up and do my PR attempts and all that. But the reason for the PRs is it was very deep for me this time. It wasn't about really lifting heavy or setting a new goal. It was more of setting a new weightlifting goal. It was more of getting over myself and pushing myself and causing myself pain, just because the second week of my full body program that I kind of somewhat borrowed from Jeff Nippard, I just added my own sets and reps. I was on the second week of that, which was kind of in a sense of a deload week, which is you're not lifting as heavy. And I just kind of fell into a depression where, I didn't really know what I was feeling. Just overwhelming sadness. So I was trying to stick to the program, but because of the depression, not mentally there, focused or anything, I didn't really stick to it that much. I did stick to the main lifts: squat, bench press, deadlift, overhead press, pull-ups, all that with the percentages, but the other exercises, it just didn't go well for me. So I kind of just woke up and said, I just need to lift, not think about anything, just lift as heavy as possible, as much as possible, just to kind of mentally and physically break myself down. Because in order for me, that I've noticed, to get out of my depressions, was I needed to break myself down and kind of know where I'm at as my starting level, and then improve from there. I guess that was the mentality, because that's kind of what I was thinking about. It wasn't anything else other than lift heavy, lift hard, do what you can, break yourself down, and then rebuild yourself again. So this is my way of dealing with depression. You hear it a lot where people say the gym is my therapy, and in a sense it's true. I can't speak for them. I can only speak for myself. Or yeah, I do love the improvements. I don't really care about looking a certain way as far as abs, or all I care about is feeling good, which is what this voiceover is going to be. I'll talk to you about what's going on in my head and things like that, as well as the failures you'll see as well. So yep, don't forget to sub, comment, whatever you want to do is fine. Let's get into it. Alright, so I'm going to be doing overhead press on this one. I think my last PR was, this is just me warming up, but I think my last PR for overhead was 150 or 155 or something like that. Basically just kind of push, I wasn't planning on doing our 1 reps or anything like that. I was planning on sticking to the program, but like I said in the beginning, was I just felt like pushing. So what is this, 135, 45, 55, it's 160. Couldn't do it, failed, not mentally there, kind of upset, to be honest. So I came back with the belt, because belt adds confidence, and then I decided to try it again, and well, I failed that. So I kind of just left it at that, and my PR was like 155, I think. So here's a deadlift. Now you see my back's rounded. I try to fix that before I even lift. I always start rounded. My hips rise a little bit, I know this, but again, I'm just thinking about lifting heavy, lifting hard, warming up here. During the deadlift, so I kind of try to do something different than what I normally do. Normally I hold my breath at the bottom, hips up, then brace myself. But in this one here, and I think going into this next one coming up, I braced at the top, held my breath there, and I held the brace in my stomach and lifted from the top. So basically what I normally do at the bottom, I started at the top, held that, came to the bottom, lifted, and it felt great. I enjoyed that. But I tried it again, and it just didn't work out. So you can see here, I'm trying to brace myself. My little pre-ritual lift, try to keep the same. I don't remember what this was, but you can see my hips rise, and I was frustrated because it didn't work. So I decided to come back again with the belt, which I try not using a lifting belt so much, just because I feel like it's kind of a crutch. I only use the belt when I physically can't do it without support, and then I come back in with the support, which is what the lifting belt should be used for ideally. I came in, failed the lift, and then came back, lifted, and I was able to get it up. But when I do watch my recordings, I notice my form isn't the best. You know, it's just something to work on. So I came back. I think this right here is 385. My old PR is 375. So again, tried to lift with the belt, messed up, kind of resetted my mind a little bit. Even though I was going through the depression, I just wasn't really focused. So after resetting my head, came back and attempted it again, and held the breath at the bottom just like I normally do, rather than starting at the top. And it just wasn't there. I was pissed, frustrated, you know, but I mean, it is what it is. Again, after being pissed and frustrated, I wanted to attack it at a different mentality where I tried to pump myself up, but it just wasn't there. I couldn't lift it, you know, and it was frustrating. But like I said, I had to break myself down, and I just knew, like, it's just not there. And I did cause a little bit of strain to my back. Lack of focus does that. So went to sleep. Next day, which is today, well, new day here, I was like, the hell with it, I'm just gonna go for a squat PR. Really, my focus wasn't a squat PR. It was more just squat, you know. Maybe I'll get past the PR. My old PR was 325 before attempting this here. So in my warm-up sets, I usually start with the bar. I do about 10, and then I add weight. I'll do about 8 or 5. It kind of just depends what I'm feeling during the set. Slowly, of course, adding the weight. I try to stick to the same setup as much as possible. Breathing in, holding the breath, bracing yourself, and just going into the squat. What I'm looking for here is mainly consistency at the bottom all the way through the top. A lot of times they tell you to stand up as fast as you can, especially when you're going for a PR. For me, I just don't do it that way. It just works for me. That's just what works. Everybody's a little different. Here, you can see something different was I took the hat off. And it might not seem like much, but in my head mentally, because I took the hat off, I kind of psyched myself out. You can see I push up, my hips rise, and I fail. I could have hit it. I know I could have lifted it, but because I told myself the hat was gone, I just shut myself out. The smallest thing just kind of threw me off. So I came back with the belt and with the hat back on, and it gave me enough confidence to go for this. What is that? 225 plus 70. That's 295 plus, what are those 10s? 315. Yeah, 315. So this is our 315, so 3 plates. And I lifted that. I failed it without the belt and the hat. So, you know, it's just a mental thing right there. But yeah, so 315, got it up, felt good. And here's a 325 attempt, which was my PR before attempting this PR. And my goal was just to maintain, to be honest, was to be able to hit 325. You'll see my form fail. My hips are going to rise before my back. It doesn't come up at the same time. So I go down and back down. Good. Hips below the knees. Hips are rising. So now a lot of it's in my back. But I didn't really feel it in my back. I just know when my hips rise, my back starts taking over. So I decided to go for 330 here. Just 330 pounds squat. Every time I lift off, I try to feel it. I'll nod my head if I feel good. If I don't, then, you know, it's a little off. But here, you know, down, pushing up, hips up. Oh, there goes the back. I'm starting to feel it in my hips still, feeling in the back. But I lifted it. Form wasn't great, but it went up. So I was pretty excited. I did get dizzy, so I'm holding on. Trying to hold myself, you know, control myself. I got a little dizzy, but it is what it is. I decided to go for something else. You know, it is a 335, I think. Right? I don't know. Maybe this is 330. I can't add off the top of my head. That's 315. 25, 30. Is this 330? Honestly, I'll just include the weight in there. But yeah, went in for a bit heavier, failed it. Just kind of pissed, you know, I missed it. I felt like I could have got it. Just like I said, depression, it just wasn't there. So yeah, I was the end of that. Failed that, kind of got greedy with the success and failed, essentially. But I did hit a new PR for 330 on the squat. And for the bench here, directly after the squat, I went into for a bench PR. Again, looking for consistency, focusing on breathing, just kind of trying to stay the same. I squat flat-footed, not on my toes, and I don't have a crazy arch in my back, or arc, however you want to call it. I think it's arch. But yeah, I'm kind of talking fast because the videos are quick. I'm only including the lifts. I'm not including like walking up to it or anything like that. 225. My old PR for a bench press was 2 255, I think, or 250, one of those. But yeah, so here I'm focusing on breathing, pushing, touching the bar on my chest, and pushing off. I believe with the bench press I excel the most as far as technique. I don't really lose technique too much on the bench press, and whoop-de-doo, you know, a lot of guys like to bench press, so that's probably why I am focusing a lot on squats, because I do want to get my squat number up, but it is what it is. So you can see I'm pushing a little fast with that 225, 35. That's 245. I notice I'm getting closer to my PR, which was 250 or 255, somewhere around there. So it's 245, and those are 5s on there, 255. So this is 255 here. Setting up, getting ready, and I'm trying to stay tight. I'm trying to pinch my armpit into my lats, you know, to activate the lats. Leg drive here, pushing through the feet, transferring it. Now, before this PR, my 255 was like a 12-second push, so the whole rep was 12 seconds. So that was a lot faster. This one here is 260. Push, 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 and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I'm pushing, so I passed my PR. I'm feeling good. I was excited, you know, clap myself, hype myself up. So I decided to go a little heavier. What was that? 225, 35, 45, 55, 60. So this is 265. Bad at math. Oops. Pushing, 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 and I get stuck. And I fail. So again, I got greedy with success, tried it again. But at this time is when I started to feel like, okay, I'm feeling better. I don't feel as depressed as I did for the whole week. And I think that part of it's the lifting, you know, part of it's understanding myself. So I decided to come back with the belt. I've noticed the belt helps me as far as confidence. So here I come again with the belt, and I go down and I go up and I fail. Well, you know, that's what it is. So, you know, it is what it is. Failed, got greedy with success. All right, so let's just end it off with this. I spoke really quickly through the lifts. Kind of wanted to give you insight on what goes on in my head, but my head just wasn't there as far as lifting. And as far as training, that's kind of what it should be. Your head needs to be there. You need to be mentally focused. Yeah, in every single one of my lifts, other than the deadlift, I blew past my PRs. Well, I didn't blow past them. You know, I added 5 to 10 pounds, you know, which is great. I think that's good. I do have my own goals that I want to lift by the end of this year. But I don't really focus so much on those goals because like I said, I don't really care so much about the numbers. I care more about how I feel. During these PRs, it's not a good idea to do one PR after another, especially if you're not mentally focused. Not only is it bad because you could get hurt, but like your central nervous system, it's constantly firing and firing throughout your body, telling you need to lift heavy, you're lifting heavy, let's get ready. So you're overdoing it, which I believe is why, I don't know, honestly, I kind of just blew past it, but a lot of times it just didn't feel good, you know, and I think part of that has to do, a lot of it has to do with the depression I have or had. I'm getting over it now after a week. Before it was a whole year of depression, and then I got better for about 3 years, and it hit me again for, I don't know why, honestly. But during those lifts, I kind of just understood myself. I became more self-aware. In a sense, I lost myself and came back. So I'm feeling better. You know, it's still there. I can feel it. But knowing that I pushed past my PRs, even in the mental state I was in, made me feel better about myself. I wish my deadlift went up. I'm still at 375. My goal is 405. I don't have the weights for it. My weights only go up to 400. So now I just changed my goal from lifting 405 to repping 400 and going from there, just because I don't want to buy any more weights. Now, am I really ever going to lift 400 pounds outside of the gym? No, I'm not. It's just something I just want to accomplish. So sorry for talking so fast, but I did want to include kind of a mindset or discuss what I'm going over. If you liked it, thumbs up. If not, don't worry about it. Don't forget, Teespring down in the description has some Fit to Succeed gear. One thing I push on my business, on my brand, on my label, Fit to Succeed, F.I.T, Fun Intense Training to Succeed. That's what FIT stands for. It's not about fitness. It's about using fitness to feel better about yourself, whether it's physically or mentally. that's my main goal behind using fitness. I don't care for abs. Not everybody wants abs. Not everybody wants to look like a model as bad as they think they do. We start working out with that main goal of, yeah, I want to lose weight, feel shredded, look ripped, and have a beach body. And that's for boys, girls, men, women, whatever. But then we start seeing progress, and we just start wanting to feel good rather than reaching those goals. So that's my goal. Hopefully this video helped you with your goals, I guess, or I don't know, gave you good insight. But we'll see you next time. Peace.